athletes, practice is now ended. Please hold up on all practice shots. Once again, practice is now ended. Please hold up on all practice shots. The USBC Collegiate Program would like to thank the following groups for their support of the Intercollegiate Team Championships. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the Intercollegiate Team Championships and Intercollegiate Singles Championships. The Youth Education Services Program. The YES program is an initiative dedicated to the development of youth bowling. Our future is now, and the partnerships already created have united the bowling industry in a single cause, the betterment of youth bowling. And H2M for creating the lane patterns for the Intercollegiate Team Championships and Intercollegiate Singles Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these collegiate teams a big round of applause as they begin round 6 of their double elimination match play. Teams, your lanes are on for tournament play. Good luck and good bowling.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Bowl TV for match play rounds number 5 and number 6 here at the 2016 Intercollegiate Team Championships, live from Northrock Lanes in Wichita, Kansas. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. and Jason Thomas, and we are underway here. We have a pair of Contenders bracket matches going on behind lanes 23 through 26 here on Bowl TV. Wisconsin Whitewater taking on Midland in our men's feature match, and Notre Dame, Ohio taking on Maryland Eastern Shore, two-time ITC champion. We'll get you a recap of everything that happened in the bracket so far. If you want to check those out for yourself, you can visit bowl.com/ITC. Click on 2016 results and you'll find the men's and women's brackets there. Otherwise, you can head into the description area below the video and you can see in their men's brackets, or men's bracket and women's bracket, each has a link that'll take you right there. A recap of everything that's gone on so far today. On the men's side, we started off bright and early, right around 8:15 here locally in Wichita. We saw Calumet defeat Ohio State 4-2. Wichita State defeat Urbana 4-0. Morehead State swept Notre Dame, Ohio 4-0. And Lindenwood recorded the 4.5 to a half win over San Jose State. The following matches: Calumet defeated Pikeville 4-2. Wichita State defeated Purdue. You saw that here on Bowl TV. That match also 4-2. So now Calumet is taking on Wichita State over on lanes 15 and 16. The other side of the Contenders bracket, Morehead State lost to Wisconsin Whitewater, so Morehead State eliminated. That's why we're seeing Wisconsin Whitewater now. That game went to 7, 4-3 win for the Warriors. Midland also went to 7 games to advance here to this match. They defeated Lindenwood in the finale. We also have 2 winners bracket matches going on for the guys. Over on 19 and 20, McKendree taking on Weber. On 11 and 12, William Patterson taking on Robert Morris, Illinois. In the women's bracket, earlier today, Newman defeated St. Francis, Illinois here on Bowl TV, 4-2. Stephen F. Austin also recorded a 4-2 victory. They defeated St. Ambrose. Notre Dame, Ohio knocked off Pikeville 4-1. And Maryland Eastern Shore defeated Wright State 4-2. The following round, Delaware State recorded the 4-2 victory over Newman, so Newman is now eliminated. Weber International, a 4-2 victory over Stephen F. Austin. Notre Dame, Ohio swept Wisconsin Whitewater 4-0. Notre Dame, Ohio, the number 15 seed from yesterday's 24 games of qualifying, so they lost their first match, but have looked strong today. And Maryland Eastern Shore defeated Emmanuel in 7 to earn their spot here. 2 additional matches going on the winners bracket. North Carolina A&T taking on Wichita State. That's on 29 and 30. And McKendree taking on Florida State. That's on 37 and 38. So that's how we got here. Once again, these are best of 7 Baker matches. Right now, looks like Maryland Eastern Shore is going to gain that early 1-0 advantage. Max score for Notre Dame, 192. Maryland Eastern Shore will just need count to take the early advantage. Some early struggles for Wisconsin Whitewater after a strike to kick things off. 4 opens in a row. That's the great thing about these best of 7. You can actually shake off a loss like this pretty quickly. Or I shouldn't even say this is a loss yet, but just a bad game. Move on to the next pair or the next lane and see what happens. Start from 0. Get a fresh start. .182 the official tally for Notre Dame, Ohio. So 2011-2013 ITC Women's Champions gonna gain the early lead here. For those of you just tuning in to the ITCs, first off, welcome. And just as a note, the lane pattern information has not been disclosed to the players, coaches, anybody. So the only folks who know are the ones who actually created the pattern, Nick Hoagland and his team, and the Kegel Flex machine itself that laid them down here. So the players will find out what they competed on after the TV show, which will take place tomorrow. We'll have 4 TV shows taped for broadcast later in May and June. They'll air on CBS Sports Network. Midland once again survived their last match in 7 games to earn them or keep themselves alive here at the 2016 event. They were the runner-ups in 2015, losing 3-0 in the finals to Wichita State. So both teams still alive here. Our defending women's champion, North Carolina A&T, still in the winner's bracket. As soon as we get updates for Game 1 throughout the house, we'll let you know. So Midland's going to take the 1-0 advantage here for the Warhawks. It's just got to shake it off, and definitely not the start you hope for, but plenty of time left in this format. Looks like Wichita State recorded a 216-154 victory over Calumet to kick things off. The Wichita State ladies up 1-0 on North Carolina A&T. Florida State 231, McHenry 212. Also winners bracket match on the ladies side. Delaware State 234-202 over Weber International. And of course we saw on our featured pair, Maryland Eastern Shore taking the 1-0 lead. William Patterson up 1-0 against Robert Morris, Illinois. Looks like the Weber men recorded a big victory to kick things off. We'll verify that in a second. Looks like 257 to 167. Weber took the first game against McKendree in the men's winners bracket. That was 257 to 167. Higher seed does get lane choice, so I saw some comments in the chat about that. So there may be some discrepancy about which team started on which lane. So once again, we'll do our best to read all the scores off. I think we got them all for this first round. Wisconsin Whitewater bouncing back nicely after a rough 120 game to kick things underway here in round 5. Sparing the first 3 in a row to take the early advantage. Looking to knot things up at 1 apiece. Notre Dame, Ohio unable to get the 9-pin to roll after the single pin miss in frame 6, so they still hold a slight advantage at the moment. We have a front 6 over on 29 and 30, North Carolina A&T. Wichita State ladies 5 out of 6 with an open. Quick momentum change in our women's feature match. Back-to-back single pin miscues from the Falcons of Notre Dame, Ohio. Maryland Eastern Shore just filling frames. This could be a big double. And give it right back. Great conversion of the 4-9 there for Wisconsin Whitewater. That was for Grandma, the cheer from the crowd. Definitely a great supporting cast behind us here for all these teams this week. Nobody tell the fire marshal. This place has been pretty crazy, but considering the size of this event, we would expect nothing less. Five-pin advantage going into the 10th for Notre Dame, Ohio. Looking to even this match up. Over on 29 and 30. Wichita State stepping up in the chance. They can strike out for 265. North Carolina A&T still getting to the 240s, but they might be shut out here. Dasha Kovalova delivers the first one, so they're in the 250s already. Big strike from Notre Dame, Ohio. Just gonna need count now to even things up. Don't even need that now. 1-1. Open in the 7th from Midland. They're down about 30. So I just need a final tally here as Notre Dame, Ohio evens up their match against Maryland Eastern Shore. Once again, the loser of these matches being featured will be eliminated from the event. So all these teams have had a loss. Need to win out if they want to make it to CBS Sports Network. 173 to 156. The final tally there. Midland can still get to 203 with the last 4 strikes. That is the exact pace that Wisconsin Whitewater is on. So big strike here. Midland's looking for in the 9th. Take him how you can get him here. Not the intended path, but gotta like the result. Wisconsin Whitewater 9th frame. Unable to get all the way back, leaves the 2-4, or the 4-8, excuse me. So Whitewater can still convert this and double to shut out. But Midland anchor Nick Pate is going to waste no time here. Let them know exactly what they need. Gets the first one. All right, now stepping up for Whitewater, their first team All-American, Nick Crummel. He gets the first one. Must strike situation here for Midland. Can Nick Pate put up another one? Unable to get the second one. So Whitewater will just need count here to even things up. A nice bounce back for them. That will be enough. Wisconsin Whitewater ties things up here 1-1 against Midland. Get you some other scores from around the house. Calumet ties things up 1-1 against Wichita State. Wichita State on the women's side up 2-0, 264-245 victory in game number 2. 1-1 Delaware State and Weber International. 1-1 right here in front of us, Notre Dame, Ohio, and Maryland Eastern Shore. William Patterson and Robert Morris, Illinois, 1-1. 211-191 the official tally here. Florida State up at 2-0 against McHenry, 247-243 in game 2. Weber International up 2-0 against McKendree on the men's winners bracket. That was the one score we were still missing. Right now, Maryland Eastern Shore looking to take advantage of a few opens from Notre Dame, Ohio. So far, the right lane has been pretty good to everybody. It's in both of our matches. We've seen the victor come from the right lane. Wisconsin-Whitewater shaking off the rust of that 120 game. 3 out of 4 to start here in game number 3. Once again, a big thanks for everyone joining us here on Bowl TV for this great collegiate event. We already know our finalists for the Intercollegiate Singles Championships, or semifinalists, I should say. We got 4 left on both the men's and the women's side. Check out bowl.com to see the recap story of that. On the women's side, our defending champion, Emily Eckhoff of Hastings, has the opportunity to become the first champion to defend a title. On the men's side, we saw Michael Tang of San Jose State win in 2015. His brother Darren making the show in 2016, looking to not only keep it at San Jose State, but keep the title in the family. Those matches will be taped tomorrow right here at Northrock Lanes. Maryland Eastern Shore is going to make it 2-1. Advantage Hawks. Miscue in the 6th from Wisconsin-Whitewater. Both teams striking a lot here in game 3, though. Nice bounce back for the Warhawks in the 7th. Just enough of the 3-6-10 for Midland. They hold a 19-pin lead. Whitewater can cut it to 9 here, though, with a double. Back-to-back shots through the nose for Midland. Can Wisconsin Water make it 3 in a row, 9th frame? That shot did not have a chance to get back. Lose some count and have to run down the washout now. Set up Nick Crummell. 200-152, the official tally. Maryland Eastern Shore now up 2-1 over Notre Dame, Ohio. Open in the 9th for Wisconsin Whitewater. They can max out at 2:06 now. So a mark for Midland here should be enough. Calumet College up 2-1 against Wichita State in the men's elimination bracket. 252-236 that game. The McKendree women get their first win against Florida State, 265-176. Those are the only games scrolling here so far through 3. As soon as the rest of them are up, we'll let you know. Just enough there for Midland in the 9th frame, so just a matter of count now. They'll have enough to shut out Wisconsin Whitewater. Now 2 pins enough. Question about the McKendree-Weber men's match. We can have a tie here, folks. Weber already in the books at 214. McKendree has spared already in the 10th. They can strike on the fill ball for 214. That is at the very left of your screen. You can see a single pin up. That was Weber's final shot. So McKendree has the opportunity to tie. Let you know when he's stepping up. He's getting himself prepared on the approach here. Here's McKendree looking for the tie. Far left of your screen. Gets it. The ever popular half point achieved here on Bowl TV, kinda. The Wichita women will have the opportunity to go up 3-0. Delaware State wins by 2 to go up 2-1 against Weber International. And wow, North Carolina A&T steals one. Dasha Kovalova misses a single pin. She would have needed to convert that and get 9 on the fill for Wichita State to take the 3-0 advantage, and she misses. Some extra life there for North Carolina A&T. Now down 2-1 instead of 3-0. Double in the 5th and 6th gives Notre Dame Ohio the advantage. Looking to make it three in a row. Delivers. Definitely a trend here on the right lane for both of our matches here. Make it 4 in a row for the Falcons. They've already had a pretty impressive day so far, winning 2 matches to get here as the number 15 seed overall. Maryland Eastern Shore has made the same trek, 2 wins. So losing that opening match yesterday makes a much tougher road for today, but gotta leave it all out there because the season will come to a close for a handful of these teams at the end of this round. Robert Morris up 2-1 against William Patterson. I think that was the last match we had. McHenry women tying it up 2-2 against Florida State. That game 224 to 221. Tenth frame, Notre Dame, Ohio. She did not like that one off her hand, and the result shows. Lose some count there. It's going to drop their max to 211. With the conversion, Maryland Eastern Shore can still get to 217. but do find themselves a few frames behind. All right, open from Notre Dame, Ohio. But Maryland Eastern Shore still needs the first strike. 9 spare strike would only give them 197. So their first team All-American, the Shina Saras, needs the first strike. Get some quick words of wisdom from head coach Caleb Bandy and assistant G. Brett Cunningham. So needs this one. Gets to the 1-3, but the 10 does not fall. We're tied 2 apiece. A second double for Wisconsin Whitewater. And despite an open in the third, they find themselves up here. Midland clean up to this point. .200 to 197, Notre Dame, Ohio takes game 4. They're tied at 2 apiece. Big 4 for Midland in the 7th frame. Looks like Weber International is going to put up possibly 268 here against McKendree in game number 4. McKendree cannot get to 268. Max score now for Midland 207. So double here from Midland in the 10th would be enough, or Wisconsin Whitewater, excuse me. There's one. Nick Crummel delivering. .252 the final tally for Weber International. So the second strike in the 10th frame just about does it. Just need 4 pins to shut out. Open in the second for both Maryland Eastern Shore and Notre Dame. Give a 1-pin advantage to the Falcons here in Game 5. Once again, we'll have one more round after this. Round number 6 coming up next. Take a quick oil break. Then round 7 and possibly round 8. All right, scores now up once again. William Patterson, Robert Morris tied 2 apiece. Weber International 3.5 to a half. Calumet College and Wichita State tied 2 apiece. Delaware State up 3-1 against Weber International, our top seed overall. Three and a half to a half, Weber International men over McKendree. So right now on the men's side, Weber the only team a win away. Everyone else knotted up at 2 apiece. Can be said the same on the ladies' side at the moment, except for the Delaware State Weber International match. Delaware State up 3-1. Wichita State and North Carolina A&T. A few pairs to our right. They're in the 8th and 9th frames here. Looks like another one that's going to come down to the anchor bowlers. In that Wichita State, North Carolina A&T match, A&T can strike out to get to 204. They're just about to start the 10th. Wichita State has already delivered a strike in the 10th. They can get to 199 if they deliver the next two. They had 2 early opens and a third one in the 6th, but they've struck every shot since. Wichita State delivers that double. So with good count, A&T will have to match with a double of their own. They did not connect, so just 4 pins for Wichita State to move up 3-1 against the defending national champions. After 3 in a row to start, Midland unable to convert to 2-4, 8-10. Wisconsin Whitewater 4 in a row. Looking to become the first team to win on the left lane in this match. And late trip of the 10. Nearly disaster there, back-to-back frames. Miscue from Maryland Eastern Shore. In the 8th frame, but they are still in charge of their fate here. 184 max score for Notre Dame, Ohio. Few marks for Maryland Eastern Shore will be enough to surpass that. Hawks will need even less now. 172 now the max number. So 1 mark will do that. That may become just a little bit tougher, or they'll have to wait a little bit longer now. Staring down the 210. And chops the spare. Notre Dame, Ohio finishes with 161, so just a few pins left. 3 to be exact to get 1 game closer to advancing for the Hawks of Maryland Eastern Shore, your 2-time ITC champions back in the earlier part of the 2010s. It's been a few years for them, so. Looking to make it back on TV. The McHenry-Weber men's match, that's 1 to our left. McHenry off to a pretty strong start. They're in great position to get a point here and make this go another game. They've delivered 6 out of 8 to start. They can max out at 258. No doubles yet for Weber International. That game on 19 and 20. Weber on 19, McHenry on 20. McKendree women take a 3-2 lead over Florida State. Wichita State now up 3-2 against Calumet. Recorded a 200-187 victory in Game 5. Official final tally 189-161. The Maryland Eastern Shore now up 3-2 against Notre Dame, Ohio. Four in a row for Midland. After the split in the fourth and nearly the 7-10 in the fifth frame, they've responded with 4 in a row. They've got 7 strikes through 9 frames. They can max out at 252. The best Whitewater can get to 235. Here's Crummel for Wisconsin Whitewater, and that'll drop their max down into the 220s. So they still have a chance here, but Mark would put Midland into the 230s. Strike ends it though. Midland's going to go up 3-2. McKendree is going to get the win against Weber International. That game will be 3.5 to 1.5 advantage the Warriors of Weber. .213 the final tally for Wisconsin Whitewater. Looked like they were going to get that first win on the left lane, but Midland decided they weren't going to miss for a while. Finished with the last 7 for 252, and they're now up 3-2, heading to Game 6. 3 in a row to start for Wisconsin Whitewater here in Game 6. Hoping to force game number 7. A few miscues from both teams on our ladies featured pair. So they open in the 5th frame from Notre Dame, Ohio, puts the match at the halfway point in Maryland Eastern Shore's hand, looking for their 3rd consecutive win here at Northrock Lanes, attempting to make their way through the Contenders bracket. The ever tricky 2-8 in the 6th frame, but right now in a position to fill frames and force Notre Dame, Ohio to figure out how to strike here. Still have yet to do so. And more trouble here in the 6th for the Falcons. McKendree girls take the win 4-2 over Florida State. Their low game was 2-12 out of that, so they were lined up and ready to go. Delaware State up 3-2 against Weber International. Robert Morris, Illinois up 3-2 against William Patterson. So very much in Weber International men, 3.5 to 1.5 over McKendree. Nice hit there in the 8th frame for Notre Dame, Ohio. After back-to-back opens from Maryland Eastern Shore. So that's a big double, puts them ahead in the match. Three in a row for the Falcons. Looking to push it to a game 7. Ring 10 in the 9th for Midland. Too close to call right now. Just Whitewater waiting for that pin to get removed from the gutter. So a brief delay in the action. Notre Dame, Ohio needs the spare to shut out Maryland Eastern Shore. Looks like the Wichita State women are going to advance to the next round and stay in the winner's bracket. They're 1 win away from making the show. We're going to have a game 7 here on our ladies feature pair. .224 max score still out there for Midland. 2:29 pace for Wisconsin Whitewater. They are down a few frames though. Big double there. So good count would be enough here for Wisconsin Whitewater. The McKendree-Weber men's winners bracket match is coming down to Greg Young and Andrew Anderson. Gonna have a pair of game 7s here. Wisconsin Whitewater going the distance with Midland. That's going to be enough to get the job done. 172 for McKendree in the 9th frame. Already a strike in the books in the 10th. Greg Young about to step up for his second offering. They can max out at 202. He got it. For Weber, Anderson has already struck once in the 10th. They had 154 in the 8th, a strike in the 9th. So they need at least 9 here. Strike wins it. Far left of your screen. That's it. Weber on the men's side, 1 game closer. In the contenders bracket, Wichita State defeats Calumet 4-2. So the McKendree men is still alive. That was a winner's bracket match. Just going to have a little bit further to go. 214 to 198, the final tally there. 247, Wisconsin Whitewater over Midland 224. Pair of Game 7s here on Bowl TV. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us here at the 2016 Intercollegiate Team Championships. We're at Northrock Lanes in Wichita, Kansas. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. Emil has been handling the quick answers in the chat room, so big thanks for that. And Wisconsin Whitewater hoping to become the first team to win on the left lane on 23 and 24. Starts off with an early double. Midland not going anywhere. Wichita State and McKendree, your winners on the women's winners bracket side. Cannot tell from here whether or not Delaware State and Weber are going to 7. Robert Morris and William Patterson are going to 7. They're about as far away from us as you can get on the men's side. They're way down there on 11 and 12, it looks like. How about this start for Maryland Eastern Shore? 5 for 5. Putting all the early pressure here on Notre Dame. Make it 6 in a row for the Hawks. Open in the fourth for Wisconsin Whitewater. They're down 4 at the moment. Nick Pate can push it to 14 with a double here. Seven for 7, Maryland Eastern Shore. That will let the wind out of your sail. Your opponents put up the front 7. Now let's get into early must-strike territory in a pocket 7-10 for Notre Dame, Ohio. Big double for Midland. push their advantage to 14. So no 300 yet here on Bowl TV. Great start to Game 7, though. 7 consecutive strikes for Maryland Eastern Shore, and they can end this pretty quickly here. 2:36 the max for Notre Dame, Ohio. Once again, round number 6 will be coming up next here on Bowl TV. There'll be no re-oil. Just practice as everyone finishes up round 5. Big double from Wisconsin Whitewater, responding nicely after the open in the 4th. And wow. 9-pin to 9, the 3-bagger. Maryland Eastern Shore is just going to need to stay behind the foul line here to officially shut out Notre Dame, Ohio. Max score for the Falcons now 226, so 1 pin will get the job done here. Nice run by the Falcons, though. Some struggles during qualifying, got knocked to the Contenders bracket pretty quickly, but 2 wins early today, showing their resilience. But Maryland Eastern Shore is going to stay alive. 2-pin advantage for Midland as we head into the 8th frame. Game number 7 on 23 and 24. Warhawks set it up in the 8th. Still down 2. Can Midland match here? 8th frame. Gets it. Maintaining the 2-pin advantage. What a performance by Maryland Eastern Shore to finish things up here. 264, the official tally. They're moving on to the next round. 3:10. The baby split left in the 9th frame. For Wisconsin Whitewater, they don't lose any count here. This would be a huge double late in the match for Midland, 9th frame. Never a doubt. We've already got to see Pate deliver in Game 7 in the 10th frame, and an open from Wisconsin Whitewater. They can max out at 2:03 now We already saw Pate double to send Midland to this round. He's going to need less than that. 9 on this first ball would get them to 204. That would be enough to shut out. Whitewater will go up first. Needed to force at least a little pressure on Midland. And Nick Crummell leaves the flat 10. That young man has had a tremendous career. It's going to be Midland here. Last year's runners up. Survive and advance another Game 7. So 264, 172, the final tally. Maryland Eastern Shore moving on for Notre Dame, Ohio. That is the end of their 2016 ITC run. Well-deserved round of applause for Wisconsin Whitewater. But 193, not enough here. Good to see the teams congratulate each other. 226 to 193, the official final tally as Midland advances. The only other match going on right now is Weber and Delaware State. Definitely a little too far to read the scores from here. But they are approaching the 10th frame right now. So don't go too far. We'll get you a recap of what happened during the break here as we finish up this round and teams make their way to their next pair for round number 6. It will be a contenders bracket round. So thanks everyone for stopping by here on Bowl TV. Round 6 is coming up next, so don't go too far. Once again, we'll have a brief break for everyone to get to their lanes. We'll have practice, and then it'll be go time, round number 6. Thanks again for stopping by. This is the 2016 Intercollegiate Team Championships at Northrock Lanes in Wichita, Kansas. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. and Jason Thomas. We'll be right back here on Bowl TV. Thanks again for stopping by.
the right lane at the beginning.
Please report to your lanes for the next round of competition. In round 6 in our women's division, in our contenders bracket on lanes 33-34, our number 6 seed, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and our number 10 seed, North Carolina A&T. In our women's bracket also on lanes 25 and 26, number 1, Weber International, and number 13, Florida State. In our men's division, lanes 23 and 24, number 4, Wichita State. Number 13, Robert Morris, Illinois. And our final match in this round on lanes 15 and 16, number 2, Midland. And number 10, McKendree. As a reminder, all matches will be 4 out of 7 Baker match play, with ties counting as half points. Athletes When your lanes come on, you will have 15 minutes of practice. You will receive the first 7.5 minutes of practice on your assigned lane, and will move to the other lane on your starting pair for the remaining 7.5 minutes of practice. Athletes, at this time, your lanes are coming on for your practice session. A couple of friendly reminders while this practice session is going on. Spectators, please remember we do need a clear walkway from one end of the building to the other, so please make sure there is a clear walkway path from one end of the building to the other. Also, coaches, please make sure to turn in your Chris Sayre Sportsmanship Awards and your All-Tournament Team Award applications to me by 6 p.m. Again, the Chris Sayre Sportsmanship and the All-Tournament Team to me at the front desk before 6 p.m. Thank you. Please switch to the other lane on your pair for the remaining 7.5 minutes of practice.
think it's probably going to be. Possibly change because we're moving way left.
Athletes, practice is now ended. Please hold up on all practice shots. Once again, practice is now ended. Please hold up on all practice shots. The USBC Collegiate Program would like to thank the following groups for their support of the Intercollegiate Team Championships. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the Intercollegiate Team Championships and Intercollegiate Singles Championships. The Youth Education Services Program. The YES program is an initiative dedicated to the development of youth bowling. Our future is now, and the partnerships already created have united the bowling industry in a single cause, the betterment of youth bowling. And H2M for creating the link patterns for the Intercollegiate Team Championships and Intercollegiate Singles Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these teams a big round of applause as they begin this next round of competition in the double elimination match play. Teams, please make sure your lanes are set to the first ball. They are on for competition. Good luck and good bowling.
Welcome back to round. Welcome back here to round number 6 at the 2016 Intercollegiate Team Championships. These are Contenders bracket matches. Wichita State taking on Robert Morris, Illinois in our men's featured pair. Over on 25 and 26, Florida State and Weber International. Once again, these are best of 7 Baker matches. We are at Northrock Lanes in Wichita, Kansas, which has been a fantastic host all week, and even for the second consecutive year here, we've been fortunate enough to hold this great event, along with the Intercollegiate Singles Championships right here at the 48 Lane Center. Other matches going on right now on the women's side. Maryland Eastern Shore taking on North Carolina A&T. The other men's match, McKendree and Midland. Those are off a few pairs to our right and left, respectively. And joining us in the booth for round number 6, I'd like to introduce the Executive Director of USBC, Mr. Chad Murphy. Welcome to Bowl TV, Chad.
Thanks for having me, Aaron. I appreciate it.
Now, Chad, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. It's been a lot of fun so far. And I know how important this event is to you. What's it been like just to be here all week and watch all these athletes just really help continue to build a future for the sport?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been fun to watch. I always get, reinvigorated when I come to, the collegiate tournament. I've said for years this is the best thing we have to offer as a sport within bowling. It's just incredible when you think about it. But it's been a lot of fun. The place has been packed with parents and grandparents and siblings and friends, and it's just an incredible atmosphere where the best of the best come to be crowned champion.
And we're seeing some familiar names here. Of course, the defending men's champion right here on Bowl TV, Wichita State. A little bit longer road than they probably would have planned. They got knocked to the Contenders bracket yesterday, but have been unscathed today, still alive, and one match away and then 2 wins away from possibly making it back to the show on CBS Sports Network. The men's final will be aired on June 4th. So once again, CBS Sports Network, a big part of what USBC is all about these days, and we got 23, including 4 coming right here from Northrock Lanes.
Yeah, they've been a wonderful partner for us the last couple of years. It was actually the Collegiate Championships that kind of set up the relationship with CBS Sports that, you know, in addition to doing this, we'll be doing the Junior Gold Championships and also all of the 13 PWBA events. So 23 total TV spots for us on CBS Sports Network. We really appreciate their support for bowling. Back to the Wichita State piece. Yeah, they lost. This is a rematch, right, of the match from last night?
Match from last night, I believe, yep.
And, you know, they've just kind of been taking it shot by shot. So probably still a long way to go if you ask them, but being alive at this point in the tournament is a major success for each of these programs to still be alive in search of that, you know, coveted title at the end of the week.
Robert Morris knocked off Wichita State to kick things off yesterday in match play, 4-1. So for Robert Morris, the 13 seed Wichita State came in as a 4, but you never know in this best of 7, anything can happen. And of course, the Baker format, so exciting, and just a matter of letting everything go from those 24 games of qualifying. Put together a new strategy if needed, and away you go.
Yeah, well, and I think that's one of the cool things about this tournament. There's stages, right? You've got the qualifying where everybody's looking for seeding, then you get into the seeding, then you get into the matches, and that's really when it happens. So some ball changes, some surface changes, some strategy in practice. I noticed this morning that Shocks came out with some really dull balls in practice, and you know, we're taking out the 3-pin. They're trying to burn a spot so that they can do what they do naturally, and the other teams kind of had to adjust to that. So this match here with Robert Morris, while they bowled great last night, and I think they probably will here again today, it's a little bit of a different environment than it was last night, and the road ahead. And you can see already they've gotten off to a good start with, you know, strike, spare, triple with the Shocks, you know, a couple spares. But I see this one being a little more competitive than the one was last night. But I do think that it'll come down to 1 or 2 balls like all these best of 7s do.
Absolutely, and Robert Morris, fresh off a best of 7, they went the distance with William Patterson. William Patterson looking to make it back to the ITC finals. They won in '92, and that's been their lone title. The Pioneers making a run here, but for Robert Morris, they just got off the lanes in that last round in round 5, take it to 7 games, and all of a sudden they're in the Contenders bracket. And how do you bounce back from that?
Yeah.
That's definitely their start right here. Big testament to their coaching staff and just the tremendous talent of these players to kind of shake that off and start over.
The great thing about the format is how competitive it turns out to be. Mr. Baker and the way this format was placed together, it kind of evens out the teams, if you will, but it still allows individuals to excel, which makes it a lot of fun. But back to your William Patterson comment, 1992, my brother bowled against that squad, and Chris Viali and Dave Carter, and those guys were amazing to watch. So it was nice to see William Patterson back in the championships here at Nationals again this year. The women's match over here interesting too with Weber International and Florida State. I talked to Coach Fine from Florida State last night, and he just couldn't have been happier about the way his team's performed so far. He said that first match when they beat Stephen F. Austin, that out of the 10 times they would bowl each other, that Florida State probably won the one time that they would beat that team. He's been kind of downplaying his team. They're kind of the underdog moving through this, but they have really performed over the last couple days. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And then the Weber International team, their only loss was to McKendree last night, who's now leading the bracket. So you've just got, you know, high level of competition going on. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Definitely so. Florida State Another team that just, similar to Robert Morris, they ran into that McHenry team, and McHenry put up a monster performance, especially those last 4 games. They probably averaged about 230 as a team.
They did. They've just improved as the week went on too. Whoever gets into that space is going to have a really tough challenge to take on that group. Shannon O'Keefe's got that team in a really good spot to make a run. The match, had a close match against Newman yesterday, and that match really could have gone either way. But they really performed down the stretch of those games. Their 3, 4, and 5 bowlers were exceptional when needed, and the same thing happened today.
A miscue by Robert Morris in the 8th frame. Wichita State a few frames behind. Able to get that one all the way back there, working on a double. But still hanging around. It's been interesting watching a few of these matches. Some of these teams like to keep a quick pace. Other ones kind of like to take their time, and all of a sudden you really know exactly what you need. And I'm always curious to see if, I don't know if we necessarily have the numbers on that, but I'm always curious to see how that kind of works out in the end for the teams who like to go fast and who like to go slow.
Yeah, there's always a strategy within the Baker system that we always wanted to get out ahead of folks. We felt like that was a really important thing to do. But if you're not ready to make a quality shot, there's no reason to step up on the approach. So, both sides can be argued. But just like the scoring system of bowling does, this match right here in front of us, if Wichita State can come up with a double here, they're only 4 pins behind when, just 2 frames ago it was in the 50s. So, again, evening things out. Big shot here in the 8th.
Freshman Brandon Biondo stepping up for the Shockers. Sorry, spent some time on CBS Sports Network at Junior Gold. Shows it off there.
He did. The family, Biondo, has been fun to watch for a lot of years with Vince and Joey, longtime members of Team USA. They're here this week. I talked to Vince yesterday, and he was just having a ball watching Brandon walk through the collegiate experience.
Once again, just a freshman, Brandon, and a junior Team USA member as well in 2016. Here's the 9th frame, Wichita State.
4 pin from Mitch in a tough spot. He's continuing the long line of Wichita Staters from the country of Canada. We've got the Mark Buffa and Frank Buffa bloodline coming in from up north. Mark's here this week as part of the festivities. He's always fun to talk to. Robert Morris finishing off the 10th frame there.
They take the 2. They'll be at 219. Max for Wichita State, 216. So this match already over. Robert Morris grabs the early 1-0 advantage. In our ladies match, it looks like Weber is going to grab the early win. Max out at 200. Some early struggles here. Just 1 strike for Florida State. Best they can get to with the spare is 181.
Florida State having a little trouble getting going there. You can see that almost the whole team, they've got 1 strike in 8 frames, which obviously won't get it done, but both coaches down there working on it, having conversations, intently watching. The coaching has just improved so much over the last 20 years. It's amazing. When I think back to when I first started watching collegiate bowling in 1987, if you would believe it, in Omaha, Nebraska, to how it, is played today from a strategic perspective. The coaches just, it's amazing. Not so much how much they're involved, but how much they're needed at different times, and then how much they can back away at different times. They've really done a nice job of getting their teams ready to play. Coach Stoughton for Weber and these ladies, national champions a few years ago. It's just, turned into a powerhouse program, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. But, coaching and skill instruction is so big within our sport. Youth bowling all the way through on the sports side. These kids are in good hands. And USBC coaching's been a big part of that over the last couple decades in improving the tools that are available to coaches. Stephen Padilla runs our coaching department now with Teresa Ross. Rod Ross, the head coach of Team USA, and Kim Kearney. Those guys just working hard to advance the area of coaching for bowling. It's fun to be a part of.
And I think one of the big things recently was Stephen actually made a little trip over to Japan and worked with the JPBA, and all of a sudden we've got USBC coaching over there. So and it's an exciting time.
There's no doubt that USBC is the worldwide leader in coaching, and there's a lot of great coaches around the world, and it's really been developed. But most, if not all of it, is a real credit to the coaching department that was created years ago, and it's just being continued today. But yeah, that arrangement with Japan is pretty cool. Over 50 folks showed up to that clinic, and their commitment to coaching is stronger because of it, and bowling will be stronger in Japan because of that moving forward. And we're excited about working with them into the future. And you sit and you listen to Stephen talk about it, and he's certainly proud about it, but also it's going to be a lot of fun to be working with those folks over the next few years. Cara Honeychurch down in Australia is another example of a governing body working together with USBC to further the sport in their country, and coaching is another piece of that. We shared with them a couple years ago our USA Bowling curriculum, and now they're in tune with our coaching department. So again, just another way of being a resource, not over here in the States, but also around the world. Robert Morris jumped out there with an early double, kind of continuing the momentum they had from last night, up 1-0 and now a mark on the defending champion Wichita State Strongers.
Interesting, in our last match on 23 and 24, which went to 7 games, each team won on the right lane.
Yeah. So
it essentially, Midland finished on the final, or on the right lane, and that's where they started to, and that's how it worked out.
Yeah. These
So
matches, historically, there's just so many that come down to that 7th game, and there's some cases one lane that's better than the other. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we could, move the format and change the format and think about how to improve, really, is the word that I would use. And we've got some ideas that we have been talking to a few of the coaches about to improve the competition and the integrity of it. But sometimes it gets in your head, too. One lane's just better than the other, and so you don't perform like you should. But that's a kind of a fun nuance, if you will. Sometimes a myth, sometimes reality that comes with the format.
That can certainly get in your head and think that you have a bad lane or a good lane you're going to, and that'll loosen or tighten up an arm swing just like that. We have some results in for our other matches. Maryland Eastern Shore has taken a 1-0 lead over defending champ North Carolina A&T. They won 195 to 171. Midland with a big 289 after their 7-game victory on Bowl TV just last round against McHenry to go up 1-0. And of course we have Weber International 1-0 over Florida State. Robert Morris, Illinois, up 1-0 over Wichita State. We're in game 2 once again, best of 7 format here at the Intercollegiate Team Championships.
Both teams on the men's side with 3 strikes after 4 frames. A big shot by AJ here.
He's made quite a few of those over his brief but very accomplished career so far.
He is. He's one of those fun guys to watch. You can see it all over his face, how much it means to him and the intensity that he puts into the work that he does, which in turn makes this an even bigger shot from Kenny Ryan. Through the nose, 247 for the left-hander.
Kenny Ryan also a member of Junior Team USA the past 2 years. Wichita unable to roll the 2 in the 6th.
Big split early here for Weber International. 2-4-10 conversion. Comes back with 2, gives Florida State an opportunity to get their feet underneath them, see if they can make a go of it a little more competitively. Kenny chopped the 2 off the 4. Always a tough spare crossing on a sport pattern. Wichita State with a 24-pin lead after 5 frames.
Now, Chad, this is the second year in a row we've been at Northrock Lanes for the ITCs and ISCs, and I know this house very near and dear to your heart. With all the history just in this 48-lane venue, what's it mean to see this championship event make its way here the past 2 years? And obviously the staff here has been top-notch and just making such a cool environment for the kids here too.
Yeah, this place is, it is near and dear. You're right. It's a lot of fun to be here. It's a lot of fun for somebody like me that has bowled as much as I have here. But at the same time, we're here because this is one of the premier tournament venues in the United States. This building and the new lanes that have been put in, and they just put in new gutters. They spend a lot of money to keep it up, and it's just an amazing tournament facility. And it has been a lot of fun to part of. The amazing part is the pairs. We bowled so many tournaments here. I tour repped here when the tour was here for years, and so you know certain things about certain pairs. The match that's going on 15 and 16 is one of the best pairs in this building. 25 and 26 has always been a good pair for scoring. But obviously we come in with the lane maintenance program. The guys at H2M have been great. And they put a competitive environment out, so it's really not all that much like bowling league here. And that's another one of the things that makes it a really special place. But the city of Wichita has always supported bowling in an incredible way. Wichita State's a big part of that. The addition of Newman University, here locally. The mayor attended the banquet this week. Bob Hansen over at the Sports Commission. It's just a great city to hold a championship in. And the Collegiate Championship moves to Baton Rouge next year in the Convention Center, which will be a lot of fun. The kids' experience will be even heightened because it's in the Convention Center. We'll showcase it in an arena, if you will, a stadium, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. And we'll look to do that more and more over the next decade or so as the Open and Women's Championships come back east more, where the teams don't have to travel as far. We'll try and use convention centers more and more, and really showcase this Collegiate Bowling Championships.
Wichita State taking the momentum after losing Game 1 to Robert Morris, Illinois, putting on a great performance here in Game 2. Had a chance to finish this one out and get into the 250s, but looks like 230s still out there and would easily be enough to even this match up.
Robert Morris will spend the next 3 bowlers kind of realign themselves in this Baker format. This is always a good time if you're not, completely lined up. You want to make a little move. With them being out of the wood, as they say, they'll take the time to try and realign. On the ladies' side, Weber International comes back with 3 in a row to basically even the match. 1 pin with Florida State. Coach Fine is grinding pretty heavily over there, trying to get everybody lined up. Big shot here in the 7th. Comes in high, leaving the 10 pin. And as happens so often in these matches, a big shot by one team, a result, which makes the next shot by the other team even bigger, a chance to take the lead here from Weber International.
There it is, 4 in a row, and you make such a great point about the emotional aspect, not only from the players out here, but as you mentioned, we've had such a great crowd here at Northrock all week, all the parents, and of course, for some of these teams, they have the guys' team as well stand back here supporting for that, and for this particular match. And yeah, I mean, just the crowd, you know, there isn't necessarily a home field advantage. As loud as these crowds get, it's almost like shot by shot.
No doubt. Standing room only crowds, I think, is what is the only way that you could define it this week, and we know that for sure because the fire marshal's been here a couple times, as is the case most years at this collegiate championships. It just is part of the process. For anybody that hasn't been to an intercollegiate team or singles championship and you're in the Baton Rouge area next year or years beyond, if you ever have it close to you, you should certainly come out and check it out. It's a lot of fun. When you see, you know, men's teams behind women's teams, friends, grandparents, siblings, it's just incredible. And the intensity that the players, the athletes compete at, it's just like any other sport when it comes to crowning a national championship. Weber International's taken a fairly significant lead now. Kind of looked like a fairly large mistake here, and chance to shut out the match. The old 1-3-8-10 standing on lane 25 with a conversion to maybe cinch it up.
Definitely not fun to shoot at this time after the miscue on the first shot, but she'll take two and
see what happens here in the ninth. A strike with the squasher.
Not the way she planned it, but she'll gladly take it.
Gives Florida State a max score of 215. Weber International, a double in the 10th here in good count would get them a win and lock up the match.
Birdie Crawley stepping up for Weber. Can she get the first one? And goodness.
Good shot, pocket 7-10. She's such an incredible talent. I've watched her bowl a few times. She so much reminds me of someone by the name of Tammy Turner. You watch Tammy bowl as a collegiate player, and then when she won all of her PWBA titles, the style in which Rita goes about her business just reminds me so much of the way Tammy attacked the lanes, and physically when you see her at the top of the swing, I think if we laid an image over it, the timing of it would be similar.
Certainly high praise there, and high praise for the shot by Florida State to kick off the 10th. They needed it to get around the count of what Weber International did, so they're going to tie this up at one apiece with some decent count here.
It's amazing how fast it can turn.
Absolutely.
It just is. Two opens at the end of the game by the 4 and 5 players for Weber International, and Florida State comes out with a big finish, a squasher, a strike, and now a Brooklyn, and they win by 18 pins.
Hey.
30 pins ahead to 20 pins behind, and an even match moving into game 3.
Got to take the hits when you get them, though, and if you can make or make any advantage out of it, like Florida State did here, that's sometimes what it comes down to here in this format. 1-1 in our men's feature match.
Wichita State starts off game 3 with a similar pocket 7-10 that we just saw on lane 25. Now Robert Morris starts with a strike and an early lead.
Tyler Green leading off for Robert Morris, a past junior gold champion. And you mentioned the atmosphere here. Let's talk about junior gold for a second. We'll get off track, but still in the youth department, and talk about an atmosphere to see if you have the opportunity. That's something else. I'm not even sure how to describe it.
Those kids and their parents and the athletes competing against each other. There's so much respect. I'm certainly proud of the work that our youth department has delivered over the last few years, doubling the size of that event. It is, without a doubt, the most attended event that we have in bowling. Over 7,000 folks will head towards Indianapolis this summer in July and watch their children again, grandparents, parents, friends, loved ones, siblings, will meet in Indianapolis, bowl over a week's time. We'll crown champions, of course, but new members of Junior Team USA. It's an incredible week of bowling. I've been quoted the last couple years as saying the two best days of the year in bowling are Saturday at the Intercollegiate Team Championships, where we crown champions, but also Saturday, what was Friday will be Saturday this year, in crowning junior gold champions and kids on to Team USA. Lifelong dreams become fulfilled Junior Gold Week as they do here. So they're similar in that regard. The only difference is this is teams where that's individuals. And but Junior Gold's been a great thing to be a part of. It's been a lot of fun. There's some enhancements with the event that are taking place this year that we think are going to stand the test of time. But it really comes back to the competition and the kids. All the local qualifiers and the folks around the country, the Junior Gold coordinators that send these kids are really why it happens. And we thank everyone for their contributions to that program and look for it to be such a beacon of light for the bigger and brighter future for the sport over the next couple decades.
Certainly with, and the tournament's expanded, there's more divisions now to encourage even younger kids to come out. And I think one of the biggest things, and for those of you tuned in right now who may not realize where Chad got his start at USBC, that was in the youth department. And you got to be so happy that the kids love that challenge of Junior Gold with the tough patterns, sport conditions, and just the fact that they would rather bowl on that than the house shots, and what they're able to just learn from all that and, as you mentioned, just build a future for the sport that way.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting things because if you go to a lot of tournaments and you'll get asked the question, hey, well, why don't you make them easier? At Junior Gold, I've never gotten that question. The kids want it to be a challenge. The parents understand it. The culture that is created or has been created at the event is one of an elite championship. And we've never even had a conversation about anything other than maintaining the history and the integrity of that event, and we'll continue to do so. But those kids graduate from that program into this collegiate arena. It's a development ladder, if you will. And when the youth department kind of came to be and we started looking at changes or improvements, enhancements, some call that spin, I actually believe in it. We had that piece of the ladder, if you will, for the U20 kids, but didn't have it for the lower ages, and now it's there for U15 and U12. So within the next decade, we will have a kid, Wichita State opens with a couple opens and now 4 in a row, so it's gotten pretty excited in here. But within the next decade, we'll have someone that started out in the U12 division at Junior Gold, had success, moved on to the U15 division, had success, moved on to the U20 division, had success, lands here at the Intercollegiate Team Championships, probably successful, and then we'll see them on the PWBA or the PBA Tour. And that's really how sport works. You know, you come into it at a certain level and then you progress over time with the help of great coaches and parenting along the way.
We're seeing some of this great bowling right here, right now. All these matches tight so far here in game number 3. 5 out of 6 to start for Weber International. Florida State looking for 4 in a row. Double for Robert Morris.
Great shot by Dakota Vostri there in the 6th to kind of stem the tide, if you will, and take the lead back. Now a 4-pin lead over Wichita State in this game 3. And how about these ladies? 5 strikes on one side out of 6 frames and 4 on the other. Just about a dead heat here with Florida State needing a strike in the 6th to keep up the momentum.
Had some questions about our other matches. Maryland Eastern Shore up 2-0 against North Carolina A&T. And then our other men's match, all tied up, Midland and McHenry at 1 apiece.
Weber with a big trip 4-7-10 there. Florida State comes back. Similar shot, but leaves the 4-pin. Weber with a 1-mark lead through 6.5 frames. I just can't tell you how exciting it is inside this venue right now. The place is pretty much going bonkers, shot to shot. Robert Morris stepping up here, trying to take an even bigger lead after Brandon Biondo says, hey, wait a second. Through the face, 3-6-10.
That's Daniel Hansen leaving the 3-6-10. He's going to be on our Intercollegiate Singles Championship show. Also part of that big Saturday you talked about, Wichita State looking to get back there again and looking for a 2-1 advantage.
Mitch steps up again. He's bowled great today. Their lineup obviously with AJ on the bottom, but those two guys have really done well. He seems like every time he needs one, he comes up with it and sets it up for AJ. AJ stepping up here in the 10th to try and put a little pressure on Robert Morris. It's pretty much a dead heat. This shot here would put them into the lead. And he does.
So clutch is AJ Chapman.
Playing that extreme left side of the lane, getting the ball to fall back and then finish. Ooh, big mistake there by Robert Morris.
Their max score now 225. So still have a chance here, but Chapman can essentially wrap things up with one more strike.
He shuts them out with a strike here.
Florida State bowling a good game, but they're just about shut out as well. Weber International going big. Chapman, second shot of the 10th. Gets it.
Wichita State will take a 2-1 lead in this elimination battle. Weber International ladies, 9 for 10 this game, 279 left. Looks like they're going to, are they? No, maybe not. Looks like she's going to finish. A couple extra shots to stay loose.
Once again, a timing thing we already discussed a little bit earlier, but finishing so soon. I've seen some coaches kind of wait on that fill ball, whether it's the anchor itself or if they're bringing someone else in. When the match gets a little quicker, a little lopsided as far as frames finished, and always going to be keeping up with a little gamesmanship too.
Yeah, I think it's kind of preference. I think I always felt like that was the thing to do. I never wanted to, you finish and then you sit while the other team's staying warm. Why not go ahead and let them catch up? But Randy isn't one that we'd argue with his success, right? So he knows what he's doing.
I would say so.
Bringing in an extra player for a shot on the fill ball there. You never know what might happen. 7 games is a long time to finish this match if it were to go all the way. Wichita State finishes with 236. Kenny Ryan up with a spare and a strike. We'll finish at 205.
This is the 2016 Intercollegiate Team Championships coming to you live on Bowl TV from Northrock Lanes in Wichita, Kansas. I'm Aaron Smith alongside USBC Executive Director Chad Murphy joining us here for round number 6. We will have another round after this and possibly 2 if necessary.
And there usually is an if necessary round. We always schedule it in certain ways, and we always kind of joke that you can almost bank on the fact that there will be an if necessary almost every year, just because of the competitive nature. The other thing is these teams are so equally matched today. The talent has gotten so much deeper. The pool of players available to find a college and be competitive at. And the number of colleges that are more competitive today is much, much higher than ever.
I know.
It's just incredible. And you look at the physical tools of the player and how they've advanced over the years, especially on the women's side. It's a different sport these ladies are playing today than 20, 25 years ago. And a lot of that goes back to the coaching. There's no doubt the advancements that have been made in coaching has really delivered that.
And when we were at the Night of Champions banquet on Wednesday, you got a chance to say a few words to the players and the coaches and everyone in attendance. And I know one of the things that you and Gary Brown were very proud of is the fact that for the first time ever, the USBC Collegiate program has surpassed the 200 team mark.
Yeah, 200 member schools, which a few years ago we got dedicated to try and push, more and more schools into membership, which takes a lot of work. It isn't as simple as going out and getting a school that isn't a member and making them, or you actually have to create a program. And NAIA has been a huge benefit to collegiate bowling. We've been working with the administrators there. There's a lot more NAIA schools than there was. I believe there's 45 today. Once they get to 60, they'll make it a national. They'll recognize it as a national championship with NAIA. But there's just a lot of great things going on with collegiate bowling. Gary Brown has done a wonderful job. He and Cindy Eagle and Zach Barton of really pushing collegiate bowling to new heights. I made the joke that you can't get to 300 schools without getting to 200 schools first, and so surpassing a milestone like that is important in the development of any program, but more importantly the sport. Having bowling recognized by colleges, institutions of higher learning, recognizes and validates the fact that it is a sport, and it recognizes that fact. So that banquet's always so much fun. I started going as a kid, and I just enjoy it. I try to never miss it because, you put 500 athletes and parents and coaches in a room. The atmosphere is just tremendous, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Definitely so. I've also had the opportunity working this event a few times to get the chance to experience the Night of Champions banquet, and yeah, just a cool atmosphere. It gives the kids a chance to not only celebrate the collegiate season and their success in making it to the ITC, but we have some fun with it as well as each team gets introduced and gets to do their cheer in front of everyone. So definitely some interesting ones we got to see on Wednesday night, and of course we get to find out about the All-American teams as well. So definitely an exciting night for everybody, and just another cool part about this entire week.
Yeah, and thank you, Aaron, for hopping up there onto Facebook Live the other night once the award ceremony started. Gary Brown and I were watching it from our table, and it just shows you the following. You pop up a video online like that, and within minutes, over 600 people are watching these kids get their awards for their accomplishments over this past year. I thought that was a pretty incredible thing. I know we had an incredible amount of folks that went back and watched that, and it popped up on their reels, and amazing what technology brings.
Certainly so, and thank you. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, there you go. Robert Morris out to an early lead, a double in the third and fourth. Wichita State, spare, strike, spare. Again, Wichita State ahead 2-1. Weber International on the ladies' side is continuing the momentum from the third game. They have the front four strikes already. Florida State still trying to solve that riddle, if you will. Strike, spare, strike up. Need to get something going quickly.
And Florida State hasn't bowled bad in this match. It's just Weber has just been lights out so far. And if it wasn't for that 7-10, this might be 3 games to 0 right now.
No doubt. They've really bowled well with the exception of those 2 frames. Kenny Ryan comes back with a split of the 8-9 and a third strike in a row for Robert Morris to go up 2 marks in this best of 7. Maryland Eastern Shore kind of handing it to North Carolina A&T on the other end, up 3-0 on the ladies' side. McKendree up 2-1 now on the men's side in our other matches.
Yeah, Maryland Eastern Shore, big 234 to 209 to make it 3 games and none. They've had a long day. They started off in the contenders bracket like a few of these teams. They've managed to survive up to this point. Florida State gives away a few pins there. Perhaps a little frustration after watching Weber start off with a string of strikes for the 2nd consecutive game.
That's where the emotion of it comes in. It takes a strong mental game to, really stay in it in those really pressure-packed times. Front 6 now for Weber International. Don't want to jinx anybody, but a Baker 300 game is a pretty elusive thing to achieve. A split also for Robert Morris, bringing that match back to within 1 mark, 126th and the 6th. Wichita State will have the opportunity to take the lead here in the 6th and 7th, but we'll climb a little closer with just a couple marks as AJ converts the 4-pin spare.
Make it 7 for 7 for Weber International. We got to see Maryland Eastern Shore in Game 7 against, who did they play last round? So many good teams have crossed our paths. That match was against Notre Dame, Ohio. But Maryland Eastern Shore started off Game 7 with 7 consecutive strikes on their way to an easy win. They shot .264 to finish things up. And now once again in great position against North Carolina A&T, up 3-0.
Super washout there for Wichita State. An 8-bagger. An 8-bagger to start the game.
All right, folks, already have a good crowd on hand. Let's hop on social media and let everyone know about the excitement here on Bowl TV. Weber International 8 in a row to start Game 4, looking to go up 3-1 against Florida State.
Little extra time here to get set. 9 in a row to start the game.
Never a doubt on that one, and there's not many people I think you'd rather have up there in this situation than Verdi Crawley, and
nothing like having one of the best collegiate bowlers in the country. Future, I think, PWBA star at some point in time in her future. With the first ball in the 10th with 2 to follow and a chance at perfection. Wichita State and Robert Morris now 25 pins apart through 6 frames. Wichita on a strike, Robert Morris on a spare. First shot in the 10th. Ooh, came in a little light, leaving the 2-8. But Weber International will take a 3-1 lead headed into the 5th game of this best of 7 against Florida State.
The 310 for Robert Morris in the 8th frame, and no one really wants to win this match just yet. This is still anybody's ball game.
Robert Morris off to that fast start, but is having a little trouble finding the finish line to try and even this match at 2. Brandon Biondo up with a chance to really do some good for his team.
I think he'll get pretty excited if he gets this one.
Tried to trip the 4-10 there out, but left the 7. Forgot about the 7 there sitting behind there. Sparrow will give them 121 in the 7th. Robert Morris, to maintain that, needs to convert the 310. Not close. He knew it right off of his hand there. Disappointment there for Brian. But Robert Morris will maintain a lead through 8 of about 12 pins. Max score, leaving it up to their 4 and and 5 bowlers to finish the match.
Looks like Coach Dale Lehman is going with a pair of lefties to finish things off. I believe that's Mike Martell stepping up now here in the 9th, and then Kenny Ryan will finish things up. Big shot.
Coming in cold, splitting the 8-9.
I think Martell's a freshman too.
He's a good little bowler.
Showing some moxie here.
Strong player. Not a lot of folks will know that name, but we will be seeing him for quite some time.
So back-to-back 278 games for Weber. That's tough for anybody to keep up with.
Florida State still working, trying to get lined up and stop this freight train that is Weber International. Kenny Ryan to try to put this one away.
That's going to do it. All knotted up at 2. Wichita State can only max out at 189. So just a few more pins to shut out.
All that time and energy that these guys have put in over the last hour. I mean, they're just digging and digging and digging the intensity. And here we are now in a best-of-3 situation within the best-of-7 format to try and find a winner.
I think you called it early on, and yeah, that was, you said this was probably going to 7, and yeah, it's looking like it right now.
You can just kind of feel it. I mean, Wichita State, with the way they've been playing the lanes, they've actually been burning a spot into the pattern, which has made the scores a little bit higher. And obviously they're doing that because they want to play a certain part of the lane, but it also makes it a little easier for the other team in some cases. But the transition will come, and it has right here, and you'll see that they've bowled 170 now. Robert Morris comes back with 200 or 210, depending on what happens here, and so now we'll see who's the quickest to match up when they switch lanes here. Game 5, such a huge piece statistically. You don't want to go down 3-2, but at the same time, you still have to be thinking about getting lined up and making good shots. And but this format just never ceases to amaze. At this point, there really is no dominance because the competitive nature of it calls for an evenness, if you will. And so I'm kind of excited to watch these last 3 games.
It's going to be good. Game number 5 coming up next on both of our featured pairs.
You'll notice on your screen right now, Coach Mike Fine trying to get his Florida State Seminoles into a place. There's some emotion in that meeting.
Yeah, this is essentially the season right now. This is from the Contenders bracket, so it's win or go home.
All the blood, sweat, and tears. Meanwhile, Weber International starts off the match with a split.
They're human.
They are.
As soon as we get some updates from our other matches, it actually looks like we got one for McHenry and Midland. Midland ties it up 2 games apiece.
Wesley Lowe enters the match for the start of Game 5 with a little trick shot, if you will, and some emotion for the team.
This is our first look at Wesley.
He came into the match about the same time in their last round and really kind of gave them a spark. See if Robert Morris can answer to start the match. So Messenger takes out the 6 and leaves the 10. I think that was also a lineup change for Robert Morris.
I believe so. Shaking things up here. It looks like Robert Morris has switched the lineup around a little bit throughout the match already, so just tinkering here and there and trying to find the right combination. And
always good to get ahead early. And Wichita State does just that, opening with a double.
Great shot from Tyler Cruz. You can hear the Cruz chants in the background from the Wichita State faithful.
I like Tyler's game. It's compact, it's straightforward, very accurate, but also powerful. He's been a lot of fun to watch this week too.
Early miscue from Robert Morris. Unable to convert the single pin and give away an early advantage to the Shockers, the defending ITC champions. They're bowling on their masking unit. It's sitting above lanes at 23 and 24. They're looking right back at themselves.
Coach Dale Lehman thinking strategy, trying to find a way. Brandon Biondo, another good shot. A little high. Not necessarily a true stuff 9, but the 9 pin left for him to clean up. Robert Norris really needs to get going here. And they do. Great shot there out of the 2-hole.
Dakota Vostri stepping up there, taking care of business.
4 freshmen on this Robert Morris squad, so we'll probably be looking to see them over the next few years here at ITC's. Wichita State, more of a senior-laden club with A.J. Chapman, Zach Rhodes, and Tyler Cruz.
I heard they're getting some guy next year, though, Cameron something, or?
I read about that, I think. Refill the pipeline, if you will. Cameron obviously was a huge get for Wichita State. He was obviously recruited by all of the big schools. And I'm sure Coach Vatican's happy to have him down at the CAC at Wichita State next fall. Florida State trying to climb back in the match with an early 2-mark lead after 3 frames.
Great response from them. Good shot there, unable to get the 10 out. That little pep talk before Game 5 certainly working early on as they have taken advantage of an early miscue from Weber International and not the standard 5-bagger that they always start with. So.
Right. A.J. Chapman, anchor bowler for Wichita State, comes up with a big shot. Now up 3 marks. Robert Morris up in the 4th. Oh no. Missed 10-pin on the Florida State side. Weber International climbs a little closer.
They can make it a 10-pin match.
Wesley to try and extend the lead, and does. Took out most of his teammates there with the high fives on the way back.
I was gonna say, certainly you got to watch out with some of these guys. It's it gets pretty animated, pretty physical with the high fives. You gotta protect the moneymakers there with the hands.
You never know. Coach Vatican and Coach Bohr sharing a fist pump after Wesley's strike there, pulling the right strings, entering him into the lineup at the right time, it seems. Robert Morris will need a big second half of this game to take a 3-2 lead here.
Possibly some help too if Wichita State keeps going at this rate. This one may be over quickly.
Another quality shot from Tyler Cruz. A 4-bagger. And an over now 50-pin lead for the Shockers.
We got to see Wichita State start off with the front 7 on TV last year on their way to the victory here at the Intercollegiate Team Championships against Midland. So they know a little something about striking. That was such a big change in the match after that first game. It was both teams struggled, and Wichita State grinded out the victory with, I think, 160 something, and then to come back the next game with 7 in a row to start. Just
sometimes that happens. You know, you're just grinding, and then the relief of actually getting through that game with a win, and then the floodgates open up. Robert Morris, Coach Lehman, has collected his team, and they are having a fairly serious conversation in the settee area while Brandon Biondo bowls the 8th frame for Wichita State. Again, game 5 tied at 2. Florida State came back nicely after that misspared with 3 in a row of their own to even the match, to take a significant lead over Weber International of 30 pins. Brandon, another strike. The Shocks now 7 out of 8, on pace for 279 with just their 4th and 5th bowlers left in the lineup. Robert Morris is still discussing what's next.
that's off screen. They're over almost by lane 20 over there. Just might as well kind of get out of the way of the freight train here and all the emotion that's coming with this big game. There.
Mitch splits the 8-9. The 8-9 again. Incredible performance from him today. I just can't tell you how impressed I've been with Mitch setting up AJ. And Kenny Ryan before this meeting with a huge shot, just to kind of, stem the tide. Wichita State, it looks like, is going to finish this game. AJ with the first one, 279 left. Robert Morris is going to bowl 5 unopposed frames before we start game 6.
We'll see if Coach Vatican maybe slows him down. It looks like he might make a change here. Not afraid to make a change here in a big game either. Back in, I think, 2014 at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, the Wichita State men's team put together 11 consecutive strikes to start the game, and Coach Vatican's like, well, let's make a change. I believe he brought in Zach Rhodes, and Zach delivered under the moment. Baker 300 for Wichita State. So
he did. That was a lot of fun to watch. Coach Vatican's been doing it a while.
He's done all right for himself.
And so I don't know that anybody could second guess or question a decision that he's made under fire.
So 226 the max score for Weber International after the early open. Florida State was on a 215 pace. It's a little less now, and the baby split to convert.
Trying to find the finish line, not always easy, especially in this situation, being down 3 games to 1 and your season on the line, possibly being finished. Weber International, big strike up at the 9th. That makes this a must spare.
Weber International can actually throw double 8 in the 10th and less now to end this match. So Weber International
takes the lead with that.
Takes the lead just like that. Once again, it can change so quickly.
Shocks finish with 264. They will, I doubt, watch, but will sit as Robert Morris finishes their game. They're going to spend some time, it looks like, here getting lined up. Not an attempt made at making that 10-pin there. Looking for strikes, and so realigning himself to the pocket was the strategy there.
Big strike by both teams on our women's feature pair. Decent count would be enough here for Weber to lock out. 212 the max for Florida State.
I believe 7 spare is a winner here to shut out. and advance.
Here's a shot, Verdi Crawley. That's more than 7. That's
Clutch.
10 back. That's going to be enough. Weber International is moving on to the next round.
What a immediate change in momentum. We'll see Weber International here in another hour or so.
They're going to be taking on McKendree once again, so a rematch from earlier.
And they will need to win back-to-back matches, or McKendree will move on to the TV show on Saturday.
McKendree swept Weber International yesterday in round 2, 4-0, so that should be a good one. We're looking forward to that one.
Coach Mike Fine and Randy Stoughton sharing a handshake and some good laughs. Good sportsmanship.
I'll talk about such a great boost for a program like Florida State, who's been around for a while but kind of been off the radar for a few years, and now putting together a performance like this at the ITCs. Probably not the finish they were hoping for, but just a great finish to a season, having a nice performance here. And given they didn't bowl bad in that match by any stretch. They just ran into a very strike-happy Weber International group.
Without a doubt, they finished with 202. Sport-compliant pattern dictates that's a good score. Coach Fine had them going, but just could not get from out in front of that bus that just ran by with the Weber International logo on it. They just bowled so well. Really, other than those 2 frames in the 9th and 10th of the second game, really dominated the match.
Always kind of a bittersweet moment too, being here, of course, behind the live stream cameras, as for some of these girls, this may be the end of their collegiate career. And you know, we've seen some tears from some of the seniors, but at the same time, an opportunity to start a new chapter, especially for the ladies with the reemergence of the PWBA last year. The 2016 season starting up in a week, just about. So we'll be in Las Vegas for the PWBA Las Vegas Open. Starting on April 29th is the practice day, and then competition the 30th and May 1st.
Excited to get those ladies back out there and competing for PWBA Tour titles for the first time in 6 or 7 months. I know the ladies are excited. We'll have a huge field the first 4 weeks and growing. Over 180 entries already for the Queens tournament, which caps the first 4-week run. So my guess is we'll be over 200 entries by the time we get to the Queens count, which will be a year-over-year growth, which is exciting. I think at this point in time last year we had about 120 entries and we have 180 already. So that's going to be a fun tournament to be a part of. But another PWBA season getting ready to kick off. I say that like it's old hat now. Just the second season since the PWBA returning from a 12-year hiatus. Our staff has it's been a labor of love to be a part of that and help put it together. Robert Morris, I'm not sure that wasn't a little bit of a gamemanship there at the end of that game 5. They took their time. They also threw first shots, looked like on every shot there, but we're crossing over a little bit. I'm not sure there wasn't some gamesmanship to move some oil around a little bit. And they had a couple guys move to the right. We'll see where they're going to play here, but they start off with a strike up to take a small lead at the start of this game 6.
Once again, winner goes home, so we got to pull out all the stops here.
That's one of those shots right there. He's reacting, you know, pretty negatively at how much that ball hooked, but I'm not sure there he really stuck the landing, if you will. Ball really came out of the break there hard because he really didn't fill his extension there. And when you're in this kind of an intense environment, you know, being repetitive and letting your muscles take over is such an important part of that. And Wichita State, of course, bang, and immediately strike on behind the split, taking an early lead.
We received a note from Tennille Milligan as we were talking about the PWBA. 127 members to date so far for the 2016 season. So thanks for the information, Tennille, and of course, thanks for tuning in. We have more than 700 folks watching live right now, so big thanks to everyone for their support here of these great athletes.
Another example where the PWBA will show growth this year. We had, I think, 97 members last year, so 30 more ladies making the decision to become members of that organization. Year 2, just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really bright future for the sport of bowling, providing that aspirational value for young ladies, girls coming through the youth ranks. Junior Gold and Collegiate headed that direction in the future.
Some updates on our other matches going on. North Carolina A&T still wants to hang around, defend that title. They're now down 3-2. McKendree with the 3-2 advantage over Midland in our other men's match going on at the moment. And a 12-pin advantage for Wichita State in the early going here. Robert Morris can cut it to 2 with a double.
2 lefties coming up for Robert Morris, a contrast in styles. Big shot. Coming in high. 6-pin. Mitch coming with a little more loft on that left lane. Converts. I'm not sure what his strike percentage is today, but it's high.
I feel it was pretty high on the TV show last year, too. I think he might have been bowling second last year for some reason, I want to think. And it seemed like he pretty much struck every time. Ball hit the head pin, everything fell down. So that's...
A.J. Chapman up immediately. Taking no time and trying to finish this match off.
Absolutely. And possibly a little gamesmanship back at Robert Morris after taking a little while to finish that last game. Let him know it's time to start striking.
Wesley Lowe up with a chance to really do some damage here. A strike here would put a lot of pressure on Robert Morris. He's playing a little off on that left side of the lane there. Comes up with the 3rd strike in a row. And again, this is one of the nuances of that Baker scoring system. Robert Morris just now getting the anchor bowler up in the 5th frame. Wichita State strikes in the 6th, 5th and 6th, is already into the 7th frame.
Here's Kenny Ryan.
Ooh,
and that's rough.
Another good shot by Kenny, coming in high though. Looks like it's breaking down for the left-handers there. 6-8 will need to convert, while at the same time Tyler Cruz steps up, trying to extend the season. Spinning and goes down.
And it's going your way, it's going your way.
Tyler cut that one a little short, crosses the head pin, leaves the 6-pin, but gets a late kick for the strike and a 4-bagger. Kenny Ryan with a great spare on the 6-8 to keep his team in it.
It might be a little bit too late.
And again, Brandon Biondo up quickly.
We got to see the emotion from Brandon at Junior Gold this year. And he might tackle someone if he strikes here.
Yeah. Very intense individual when bowling. Nice kid, great kid off the lanes.
Amazing family, amazing shot.
There he is. Taking out the entire team while putting them on his back at the same time. Big shot. Robert Morris has got to get it going. Good shot. Because we're not done quite yet.
2:36 still out there with the back six after the strike in the sixth.
Mitch up. Almost put it out of reach with one here. 6 to 4 pin leaves the 9. A.J. Chapman with the spare would just need a strike. Spare would do it. Good count, and spare would do it.
That would be enough.
A must strike here. Not dead yet. Held that finish a little longer that time. Got the ball down the lane. Came in late.
No problem on the spare for Wichita State. Eight spare strike would be 237. That would be enough.
And again, AJ up quickly to put it away.
Uh-oh.
4 through the middle. Robert Morris breathing life.
Holy cow, still a long way to go for Robert Morris, but just the chance to still have it right now as the team huddles up here.
This is still a must-strike situation. Cannot get there without a strike.
Tyler
Puts
Green.
8-9, Tyler Green. Unbelievable performance there. If AJ were to get 4 here, 3, Nathan Bohr giving him some instructions to try and get the ball to the right side of the 3 pin over into the 4 and the 7 while the ball takes out the 9. Not an easy thing to do, but it is possible. Michael Martell will step up in the 9th here to try and keep his Robert Morris team alive in game 6, down 3-2 of this best of 7 match.
Must strike situation. Anything less, Wichita State advances. That was left off his hand.
That's the tough part of this sport. Came in high last time, probably made an adjustment. Didn't execute at the level that he hoped. Missed a little left and it didn't pick up. AJ gets 2.
219 is going to be enough. Wichita State is going to advance. They are going to take on William Patterson to advance to the championship round. They'll have to beat the Pioneers twice to do so.
Lots to be proud of by this Robert Morris squad. As I said earlier, 5 freshmen out of the 8 bowlers competing here at Nationals this year. So we'll look to see them down the road.
Yeah, definitely a young team for Robert Morris. Obviously, they've had some incredibly talented teams in the past few years, and still very, very good, and going to be very good for a long time here with this young core of players. But this round belongs to Wichita State.
Just a little better execution. Obviously disappointment on the Robert Morris side, but with experience, that execution will certainly improve, and we'll expect big things of them in future ITCs.
All right, it appears we're done here on our featured pairs. We still have 2 other matches going on right now. Both about 4 pairs away from where we're at.
McKendree now up 3-2. Can't quite see. And North Carolina A&T, I'm not sure exactly what's going on down there, but looks like the group that just won't quit. They were down 3-0, now 3-2.
Yeah, definitely tough to see what's happening scoreboard-wise from where we're at.
Looks like Maryland Eastern Shore is going to polish off a 200 game with a spare here. North Carolina A&T can strike out for 215. So 2 strikes to extend the match to a 7th game. Ooh, ring in 10. Ring in 10. I think, to end the match. If I have that correct, 115, 130, 150, 170, yes, 190, and 209 with a strike for Maryland Eastern Shore. So Maryland Eastern Shore will advance.
The Hawks, what a performance. Making it all the way to through the contenders bracket. They've been bowling all day today.
Similar to the Wichita State men, just the little train that could. Obviously, happiness on one side, but North Carolina 18, a lot to be proud of in trying to defend their title, getting this far. Been fun to watch.
Absolutely, it's been a great run and awesome experience last year to watch them take the win over Robert Morris, Illinois. Especially in the best-of-5 format. They lost that first game by a single pin. You often see the wind out of the sails after a loss like that, but they rebounded and put together an awesome performance.
Midland, I believe, with that second strike in the 10th, has just extended the match to a 7th game. Huge shot by their anchor bowler, split in the 8th, 9th to move on.
Nick Pate has been doing it all day. This would be 3 consecutive best-of-7s, or actually making it all the way to Game 7 for Midland. So they are.
If I had that right, 9 spare was a tie, strike to win. I'm not quite sure about that, but we'll see if we can get you some bonus action. Emil's helping us out by moving the cameras. And there it is. We're going to a 7th game. Down on lanes 15 and 16 here at Northrock Lanes in Wichita, Kansas.
All right, the view a little rough to see from here, but we're going to keep the cameras rolling until we're all done here and we know our final team joining us. As a recap of the matches coming up next, William Patterson, this is for the men's bracket, will be taking on Wichita State. Wichita State will have to win twice to return to the championship match of the ITCs for the 2nd consecutive year. On Bowl TV, we will have the Weber men taking on the winner of Midland and McKendree on lanes 23 and 24. Whoever comes out of the Midland-McKendree match will have to beat Weber twice. Match is already decided on the women's side. McKendree taking on Weber International on lanes 29 and 30. And the Wichita State women will take on Maryland Eastern Shore. Maryland Eastern Shore will have to win twice to make it back to the finals.
Looks like an early double for Midland down there, and a strike to open for McKendree. Emil's giving me the thumbs up that I know how to keep score so far, so I'm excited about that. It's been a little while. We're going old school here at the Intercollegiate Championships.
Bust out the wax pencils, everybody.
It's like a 6-pin lead on lane 16. Convert by McKendree will have them down 1 mark. Midland up quickly in the 3rd. Almost know what happens by the reaction.
Certainly letting it all hang out here down the stretch, as they should. This is everything.
Not that uncommon right there. A double in the 10th to win a game. The momentum carries you over to the next game. You start with the first 3 strikes and a 20-pin lead. McKendree converts for strike 9 spare to begin. Sure. Will Midland pop up for the 4th frame, or will McKendree bowl its 3rd first? Looks like Midland up next. Aaron's trying to pull up some. Aaron doesn't want to go so old school here.
Getting fancy. Technology, everybody.
Again, Midland up. to extend its lead.
That didn't sound as good.
Ball through the nose. The 3-6 up. We'll need to convert to stay ahead. McKendry up quickly in the third frame. We're Midland in the fourth.
Great shot. Definitely too early to tell, but it's game 7. Can't let anything go here.
.36, depending on how you shoot it on these patterns, obviously can be a little tricky. Looks like he's going cross lane at it. Straight and hard. Comes up with the spare.
Yeah, as you said, we can kind of tell from the emotion of whether the result of the shot.
Midland an early 18 pin lead. McKendry up here to cut it to 8. And they do.
How about this McKendry program here?
The Fighting O'Keefes.
The Fighting O'Keefes having the opportunity to have 2 teams in the Final Four, both sides.
Brian's done a great job with the program, and Shannon with the ladies. It's kind of been fun to watch them progress and through their recruiting and just pure coaching. You can see how much the Lady Bearcats have changed physically over the last couple of years. Shannon's just really done a nice job with Brian leading the program. The guys have been good for a few years, but Brian's just such a wonderful coach. Coming in a few weeks to help with Junior Team USA camp, which we're excited about. Midland taking the lead. Strike spare 3-bagger to start. Up 3 pins if both teams were to strike out from the 6th on. Midland needing to spare here to keep pace.
Sounded good. And anyone's ball game as we hit the home stretch here. 6th frame coming up here on Bowl TV. Thanks again. This is bonus coverage at the Intercollegiate Team Championships here in 2016. 6th frame, McKendry.
Another shot. All of these shots leaving no doubt, almost off the hand of the athlete. Midland up to try and keep pace. Now down 13, 6th frame, game 7.
We promise the winner of this match will be much closer to the cameras next round.
Kind of turns around, takes a bow. Ho hum.
Weber International awaiting the winner of this here in our next round. There'll be a brief break as we re-oil the lanes, so we'll actually shut down the live stream for a few minutes and start it back up. So don't go too far. Round 7 coming up next here, but we're not done with round 6. McKendry looking to make it it's in the 7th frame, looking to make it 5 in a row. That looks like Craig Young, former Junior Team USA member.
Just another pure shot off his hand, just clean, just so clean. Split in the 8-9, takes the lead from 13 to 23. Midland has to answer here. Keep that lead in a reasonable pinfall total that hopefully they could manage. Looks like a 4-pin. So McKendry now up 23 through 6 frames.
Interesting the difference in pace compared to the match we just had on 23 and 24, where Wichita State just kept the foot on the gas when they were striking. It's a little more polite here, I guess.
It is, yeah, a little more consistent. McKendree up to extend the lead. Oh, excuse me. Mistake by Midland, missing the 4-pin.
And they are in big trouble right now after that.
A gift, if you will.
They can max out at 2:35 with the 8th, 9th, and 10th to go.
Now McKendree up. Trying to close the door on this 6th round action. Uh-oh.
That didn't sound good.
I was going to say it a minute ago, but it's always amazing when something like that happens. You know, you're just in pure focus mode, and you're going to go up there and you're going to throw a strike, and then the other team steps up and does something that's, you know, not what you expect. They miss a 4-pin, and maybe you lose your focus a little bit. I'm not sure, but 3, 6, 7, 10 from McKendree. And now Midland will step up to try and set up with a big shot to try and set up a big double that'll get them back in it.
Absolutely, that could take it to about a 10-pin deficit. They're able to strike first here in the 8th.
High, some sort of 3, 6, 9, 10, I think, combination. Through the face.
Still a makeable split, but
Could be a big spare, and he does. Making the 3, 6, 7, 10 in the 8th frame to keep McKendree up 31 pins into the 9th.
certainly no easy task for Midland here, the 3, 6, 9, 10. Never fun, let alone on a challenging condition like we have here this week.
I always say that's like shooting a big 4 on the sport pattern. It really is. It's just so difficult. He comes up with 2. McKendree now up 43 with 2 to go. It's all but over. Up in the 9th. A strike. Midland maxes out at 213. McKendree leaving a 10-pin there, it looks like. With a spare, 2 spares, they would end up with 230. 9 spare 9 would give them the win.
So Midland had survived back-to-back Game 7s to make it this far, but it appears their run is at an end, but
Come to an end. 2 McKendree teams left in the tournament
2
on the
McKendree
men's and women's
teams.
side. 2 Weber International teams on the men's and women's side. And 2 Wichita State teams on the men's and women's side. An interesting turn of events over the last few hours.
I'd say we have some pretty solid programs still left here at the they must be doing something right there in Florida, Wichita, and Illinois.
I think MES might have something they'd like to say about how it plays out, but at the same time, pretty amazing accomplishments for those 3 schools having both their men's and women's teams still in the mix. Guys, thanks for having me. I enjoyed sitting with you. I know you guys have been working hard here for the last couple of days. We really appreciate all your efforts and the things that you do in keeping this great sport in front of everybody on Bull TV, so I appreciate it.
We appreciate it, Chad, and of course, thanks for joining us here for round 6. And we got a lot of great discussion, not only about the great bowling going on here, but about just all the awesome things USBC is doing in helping build a future for the sport. So thank you for everything you do for us, and we'll be ready for round 7 coming up next.
Awesome. Can't wait to see these TV shows on CBS Sports Network in a few weeks. Really looking forward to it. Thanks again. Guys, enjoy.
Once again, a big thanks to USBC Executive Director Chad Murphy for joining us here on Bowl TV as we wrap up round 6. Just a matter of a final score now. McKendree is going to advance. They're going to take on Weber International next. That match will be here on Bowl TV. So don't go too far. We are going to turn the cameras off for just a little bit as they re-oil and prepare for the next round. So there'll be a new event for that. So don't go too far. The final round before the championship round. Coming up next, I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. And on behalf of USBC Executive Director Chad Murphy, we'll be coming right back in a minute. 2:30, the final score for McKendree. Final shot, Midland. Great run here at the 2016 event. They finished it up with a strike for 192, but not enough. So McKendree moves on to the next round. So don't go too far. Bowl TV will be right back with the semifinal matches here at the 2016 Intercollegiate Team Championships.